Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be recording a podcast episode. So if you haven't already, make sure you check it out on Spotify, Jayla Embaby. I usually stream them on here in my live section so you can see my face as I film it, but I'm also going to film it here live for you. So make sure you check it out on Spotify, Better Than Yesterday by me, Jayla Embaby. So here we go. Hey, you guys, welcome back to the Better Than Yesterday podcast. This is episode 16, How to Cope with Grief. So, I wanted to do this episode because someone had asked me to make an episode on the process of grieving and how to help someone who's experiencing grief. So, in general, typically when we are grieving, we grieve someone who has passed away, someone that we love and care for, and that we had and hold and held so dear close to our heart, and they are gone. A lot of times, though, too, which is common, we can grieve from heartbreak as well. So, this is great if you are experiencing some sort of heartbreak because that is a loss. You lost someone dear to you and now it's over. So, you can take this episode and the tips that I put here and you can implement it in however way it may help you in your life. So, grief is the loss of a loved one, which we just said, um, death or distance or breakup or whatever it may be. So, the biggest tip when it does come to grieving is to be aware of your feelings and feel them. The worst thing that could happen in any scenario in life in general is experiencing a negative emotion. A lot of times we fear feeling that negative emotion and we do everything we can to get away from experiencing and feeling negative emotions. But if you really sit and think about it, everything leads to feeling everything that we're scared of is because we're trying to prevent feeling that negative emotion. For example, presenting in front of a class, we're stressed we're going to mess up and then feel embarrassed. That's a negative emotion, embarrassed or stage fright. When we lose someone, we don't want to feel that grieving, heartbreak feeling. Or when we get in a breakup, we don't want to feel that heartbroken feeling, that betrayal. So, a lot of times we try to avoid these negative feelings, but it's very important to be aware that it's normal and we can feel our feelings and give ourself, our body and mind, the right to feel it and stop shoving it down and pushing it down. All emotions are welcome here, and you can always sit and feel them. And you need to tell yourself that because the more you restrict yourself from feeling negative emotions, the more it will be emphasized at the worst times in random outbreaks and outbursts when you're upset about something. It's just all going to come out at one time, one moment. So make sure you're aware of your emotions and your feelings and you just feel them. Now, we're going to talk about in a little bit how to do that as well, but that's the main point. Feel your feelings. Grief is a feeling, right? So we need to make sure we're being aware of what we're thinking, how our body's feeling, what our mind's thinking, and sit with it and feel it. Now, I wanted to transition to this for maybe somebody that you have in your life who's experiencing a loss of some kind, whether that's a death or they got through a breakup. How can you help someone who's grieving? Um, well, first of all, just being there. And I know that sounds so simple. Well, like, yeah, but what does that mean? But just being there. People who are experiencing grief and loss just want someone there to be there, someone there to listen, someone there to rub their shoulder and their back and just listening to them and understanding that there's going to be a lot of silence, and that's okay because they are experiencing and feeling their negative emotions and they're telling you it and they're expressing it. They're feeling the negative emotion and they're expressing it aloud to you. When they think back to this time, when they eventually, and they will, and you will, get past your grief stage and you're better and you're feeling stronger, you will remember who was there for you and rubbing your shoulder and patting your back and just listening and being there for you. And understand there's going to be a lot of silence. Don't worry about it. Don't overthink it. Just be there. Don't try and give advice or tell them what to do or how they can do this unless they're asking you. Just listen. And try to find ways where you can ask questions about the scenario or maybe a story about them. A fun story. Oh, when did, like something like, when did you find out? How did you find this out? Or, oh, just something that's like an open-ended question that can help them elaborate more. Like, oh, why don't you tell me one of your favorite memories together? I would love to hear it. I want to, especially if you don't know the person that well, that someone you love is grieving too. You don't know that person. Maybe just asking them, like, oh, what were they like? What was your favorite quality in them? Something that's more uplifting and happy, so that they feel they can talk about it freely with you and that you're there. And um, just listen. Maybe even trying to be there with them in whatever routine they usually have so they don't feel alone. They just need support and someone there. So just know that everybody grieves differently. Don't try to give them advice, just be there. Now, how to cope with grief. And again, like I said, you can relate to this in a heartbreak scenario or if you're lost a loved one. So, we already talked about not pushing down your feelings, but it's very important to talk out your feelings to others. I know some people may feel uncomfortable about this, but it does help. If you don't like to talk to others, you can also do a recording on your phone or a voice message recording and just press play and just start speaking your mind. It feels better to let out your emotions because remember, we're feeling them and we're releasing them. And we want it to have an open channel where it can come and go and not resist it. Because the more we resist it, the more that it builds up and it holds in us. So we don't want to be doing that. Start and be stuck on a routine, maybe continuing your routine, maybe developing a new routine to stay busy and be on time and just give yourself some value in your life as you're grieving and going through a hard time. Don't slow things down. Obviously, take your time and feel your feelings when is needed, but don't stop moving. Life is going to keep going. Life is beautiful. Have things set up for success for you. Implement things that are calming for you. Mindful activities, maybe exercising, yoga, journaling, reading, writing, listening to music, going on a walk outside, even implementing these in your routine just so you feel more at peace. Grief is a process, but don't let it make you feel like you are at a loss in your life. Your life is beautiful, and grief is a hard topic. Everybody experiences it differently, but it is also an emotion and it's a feeling. And just also remember, like, if you are trying to help someone who's grieving, don't ever say anything like, oh, I know how you feel. Like, don't say that because everybody's relationship is different, especially if they're going through a breakup or if they're experiencing a loss, like in a death scenario. But do not tell someone you understand because their relationship, both ways, is very different than any relationship you've had. You may be able to relate at some points in whatever, but don't say that you know what they are feeling or because you don't. You don't know what kind of relationship they had together and how close they may have been. Even if you've had a similar time, you can be like, I can relate to blah, blah, blah I had, but don't say I know exactly how you feel because you don't. You really don't. So be aware of that too. It's important. Um, yeah, but those mindful activities will be very beneficial to you to be present and in the moment and help you just kind of feel your feelings and doing calming activities that keep you going, but not necessarily holding you back or resisting the emotions you're feeling. Is painting so relaxing, journaling, writing, reading. You're just sitting and enjoying and releasing and experiencing. So just be aware. Once we know how to feel these feelings, we become more experienced in feeling negative emotions. It's so hard. But when we are put in hard scenarios and situations, when we go through stress and discomfort and hardships and get through them, that is when we grow. That's when we grow the most and learn the most, and we can teach others. So, no matter what you are going through, just know you are so strong. You are stronger than you know. And if you believe in God or not, or you believe in the universe or whatever it may be, God or the universe, whatever you believe, will never put you through something that you can't handle. You are stronger than you know. You are so, so very strong. And strong people have feelings, and strong people can get through the feelings and feel them. Do not be afraid of your feelings. You are a human. Everyone has feelings. Express them, talk them through. Be there for yourself. Okay? You are amazing and you will get through it because everything's temporary and feelings are temporary and times will pass and you will get better and you will be stronger from this. You are amazing and you will get through it. I hope this episode helped you in any way it may. If you liked it, please share it with someone who could benefit from this or post it on your Instagram stories and tag me at Jayla_Embaby and leave a rating. Hopefully 10 out of 10. But also check out my YouTube. I film these sometimes on my live stream on YouTube too, so you can see my face as I talk. But thank you guys so much for listening, and make sure you are following and turning on the post notifications for new episodes to come. See you guys soon and take care. And make sure you guys check out this episode on Spotify. Have a wonderful day. And as always, remember to be 1% better than you were yesterday. Have a great day.